Hey everybody, Jake here, and today we're going to take a look at another ink. Today it's going to be Waterman's Tender Purple. Waterman Tender Purple. So this is a fairly standard purple ink from Waterman with some subtle, interesting properties that I discovered when I was doing the swab test for this, but I'll get to that in a minute. First, let's go over the bottle here. It's a very unique shape. You can see that it's sort of hexagonal, but it has these flat spots, and those are actually for a reason we'll get to in just a minute. Other than that, it's just, plain bottle. The label was not stuck on very well. It's crooked and kind of peeling up. It's fine. 50 milliliters. Pretty standard bottle. On the bottom it says Waterman, made in France, approximately 2 ounces. Let's go and take a look at the neck of the bottle. It is fairly wide. You wouldn't have any issues getting any pens in here. And I wish it were a little bit wider for this next feature that I'm going to show you, because I feel like some pens it may be not as easy. But if you look at the box here, it has a little diagram showing you how to tilt the bottle. It says tilt the bottle when it is 3/4 empty. So what you can do is there's little flat spots. You can actually set it flat on that and it will tilt. So that way when it gets low, instead of having the ink like this and trying to dip your nib down in there, you can tilt it about like this and get that little bit that's going to sit down here a lot more easily than you would normally be able to. So a very nice little feature they had there. So we're going to take a look at the ink swab here. So it looks like a standard purple, but if I shift it a little bit, you might be able to see it actually has some green in there, which I just noticed when I dip these down in the bottles of ink to get as much variation of color as I can. And yeah, the green started coming out, and I was very surprised. I haven't seen that in any of the writing, so that was a very unique thing to pop up, honestly. So don't expect any green when you're writing, but maybe if you're doing some sort of art with it, you might get some use out of that. So very, very interesting. So we're going to do a writing sample here, as usual with the Lamy 2000. This is Waterman Tender Purple. It's a nice purple. It's obviously, purple, but it's not quite as in your face as some of the other purples. It doesn't really excite me that much, to be honest. I prefer more vibrant kind of poppy purples, but this is, it's not bad. Again, I don't really get any of that green at all when writing, even with this pen, which is fairly wet. Speaking of wet, let's take a look at the dry times on this. I'd say it's a moderately wet ink. It's not really going to blow anyone away, but it's not as dry as some of the other inks out of there. So if you're looking for something that behaves pretty well, I think this might fit the bill for you. It should be dry by around the 7 mark, but we'll see. Looks like the 5 and 3 were drying pretty quickly. Nope. I don't really expect it to be dry during any of these, to be honest, just because of how wet the pen is. But it's nice to test the dry times and, see how they hold up and all that. Alright, it's been roughly 10 seconds, I think, ish. It's still wet. Might have been off. But it's just a well-behaved purple. You might get some use out of the green if you do any sort of art with it or anything like that, but probably not. But it's still interesting that the green is in there at all, to be honest. So this is, again, 50 milliliters. It's about $12, so it's pretty standard fare. For some reason, Amazon had these for like $4, so I got this one and Harmonious Green, which I'll be doing a review of later. So keep an eye out for sales like that. You might be able to pick it up pretty cheap. But if you're looking for a fairly standard purple with possibly some interesting properties for art applications, might be right up your alley. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys.